Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having an amazing day. Get ready for a very good video because I was shocked at how ridiculous the news is today. Like, this is probably by far one of my most favorite compilations of news that we've had in a while. And without that further ado, let's jump right into it. Ethereum's co-founder, you know him, his name is Vitalik Buterin, recently sold some of his Maker DAO, that is Maker DAO tokens, for the first time in 2 years, according to blockchain data. Now, that sounds ridiculous in and of itself, but wait till you hear what the actual problem is. Over the course of the last month and a half, I'm not really sure how Vitalik Buterin got himself in this weird bad boy image kind of thing within the cryptocurrency space. For those of you who do not know, the vast majority of these larger crypto entities, the Vitalik Buterins, all these other people, we usually know their public address for whatever reason. Years ago, they decided to be transparent and show everyone what their address is. One of the main issues is that a lot of people airdrop them tokens, and it's not like they're airdropping Ether. People create projects and they simply throw it at Vitalik Buterin, as they have been doing for a number of years. Same thing happens to Charlie Lee and all the other ones. They end up getting these projects because people pay attention to their wallets because they have such a huge amount of cryptocurrency inside of them. So years ago, this was a major issue because people would see that Vitalik Buterin had recently received 700,000 Quadrobala tokens, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's Quadrobala? And then people would, that's not a real coin, by the way, for those of you who just went to go search for it, because I know how people are. And then he'd have to be like, no, I don't want these tokens, and then he would sell them. People would assume that he was buying them as opposed to that they had simply been airdropped onto him to gain some type of notoriety. So people pay attention to all these wallets, like they scrutinize them. The one of the main points of cryptocurrencies is that people have some type of economic freedom in that you can do what you want, when you want, how you want with your wallet and your coins, and you can move them around. This was the original idea behind crypto. Much of that has left as we let corporate overlords take over the space, what have you. Whenever anyone in the cryptocurrency space moves their money, a prominent member, leader, well-known face, the cryptocurrency community always reacts. It's absolute nonsense. We went over this a couple of weeks ago in another video where Vitalik Buterin was also in the news because he moved his own money. And I dare say, I believe it was only $1 million. I think it was just $1 million. And for context, it's because he's a billionaire. So I can use only $1 million in that actual context. He moved it to Coinbase and people were like, is he about to sell off $1 million worth of Ether? And I had to explain to everyone, even if he sold off $50 million worth of Ether, it would do nothing to the price because we have a gigantic amount of trading volume over the course of a 24-hour period. It would be like you throwing a little piece of, what's it called? A crumb from bread into a gigantic pile of bread. It does nothing to it. If he had to taken like half the pile of bread and had thrown it at the wall. Anyway, the point is it does absolutely nothing. These people are free to move their money around. And I even more so had to tell other people, you know, these people have been selling off their crypto for years, not in a mean, yes, let's crash the market kind of way. Like, no, they own fancy houses. They own fancy cars. How do you think they got these things? When they do sell their crypto, it is typically OTC. It is over the counter. So we can't see the major sellings or purchases. And also, you're only seeing one wallet. Do you think Vitalik Buterin, the guy who cares about like actual security within the cryptocurrency space, has only one cryptocurrency wallet? Or do you think you are only privy to the one that is made public? It's the second one for those of you who didn't get it. So the news was that he moved his own money around, moved it to Coinbase, and people assumed later on, a week later, that he must have simply put his coins there to put into some type of derivative product that they have, maybe staking, who knows, maybe he wanted to show his support for something. Who knows what the behind the scenes conversations actually are. The news now is that he actually sold some of his MakerDAO tokens. Apparently, the 500 tokens that he sold was worth roughly around $500,000. And he did so on a decentralized exchange known as CoSwap, C-Cow. No, that's not, is that cow? COW Swap, a decentralized exchange. Now, once again, I'm going to put you in a scenario where you, the listener right now, hello, you have, I'll give you a cool $1 billion. Now, let's say for the sake of argument, you decide to take $500,000 of that in cryptocurrencies and sell it. Why? You want to buy a new vacation home. Maybe there's a car you want in your front lawn. Rich people do very weird things. Do you think everyone else has the right to then freak out and go completely insane because you sold 500 of a token that you probably have a large portion of, and probably the $500,000 that you sold was maybe just a fraction of what you actually own from that cryptocurrency? The answer is yes. People are going to freak out as if this is like the worst thing in the entire world. Buterin then transferred all Ether that he got from the sale of Maker to an address starting with 0x3f6. Should we care about that? No, but that is also a huge part of the story, which now has over $1 million worth of assets, including 415.76 Ether and various other ERC20 tokens. Buterin is an early investor in MakerDAO, a decentralized lending platform that launched the stablecoin DAI. The exact reason behind Buterin's Maker sale is unknown, because it doesn't matter, because it's his money and he can do whatever he wants at any given time with the money that he has. When the cryptocurrency market is experiencing its gigantomegamus 2025 crazy euphoric bull run, and you sell off some of your cryptocurrency stash, do you think that people have the right to be like, why is he selling? The sale was unknown. I don't understand. However, the drama, behind all of this is MakerDAO's founder, Rune. Is that his name, Rune? Okay. Surprised everyone by making a statement praising Solana. The founder said that using Solana's code base for MakerDAO's own blockchain is the most promising project. These statements of the founder may have angered Vitalik Buterin. MakerDAO is known as one of the most influential projects in the Ethereum ecosystem. The news here, my friends, is that apparently someone else said that they thought that Solana was cool or interesting, which I question those words. Vitalik Buterin then sold off some of his coins, and everyone believes that there's now like a Biggie Tupac-esque cryptocurrency beef going on within the cryptocurrency space. This was major news. Like, this wasn't like, oh, I found this on like 2 websites news. No, this was like everywhere news. People think that there's now some kind of like beef going on between Vitalik Buterin and the creator of Maker, because this guy sold off $500,000 worth of a coin. I think the news would have been far more substantial if Vitalik had sold off like $75 million, $120 million worth of a coin. That's a pretty clear, like, okay, I'm done with the project. Nope. It was, and once again, for context, only $500,000 from a coin that maybe he needed to put into something else. Maybe he was also going to wrap that 350 Ether onto a Maker protocol, smart contract, who knows? But yes, very popular news. I worry about the state of the cryptocurrency community when people desperately care about things like this. There's so many other things going on, and I find the situations where people care more about a crypto celebrity selling off their coins more than worrying about their own money and accumulating potential wealth for the future. It's just, chef's kiss. I love the distractions that people allow themselves to fall into. That's the Vitalik Buterin sold some of his crypto, and people think that there's like, maybe MakerDAO is going to like switch to Solana. Maybe he like has been working with Solana the whole time. That's the MakerDAO Vitalik Buterin sold some of his tokens news. And yeah, let's move on. Okay, here we go. This is my favorite news story. This is okay. Reports have emerged that the world's richest man, Elon Muskingson, could be secretly funding the development of Dogecoin. Can anyone in the class tell me why that sentence is absolutely nonsensical? Anyone, please just give me an answer. I know I can't hear you, but I'm still listening out for it. I know one of you said it. It's because we knew this already. We heard this back in the olden days. I think this is it right here. First of all, what we're talking about right now comes from an article from the Wall Street Journal. Here's the article right here. It says the real story of Musk's Twitter takeover. This is the article that's currently, being discussed. This is something right here. I know many of you are not looking at the screen. This is an article from 2019. I know, an entire 9 million years ago. It says, meet Elon Musk, the new CEO of Dogecoin, a meme-inspired cryptocurrency. I'm going to go back here and tell you why all of this is probably my favorite news story in a very long time. On the 31st of August, the Wall Street Journal reported that Elon Musk has been secretly funding Dogecoin's development. Whoa! This revelation adds an intriguing layer to his prominent relationship with the canine-themed cryptocurrency. Dogecoin, which started as a playful internet meme back in 2013, garnered significant attention when Elon Musk publicly endorsed it back in 2021. Keep track of the time frame. It says 2021 here. By revealing that Tesla would accept Dogecoin for some of their merchandise. In August of the same year, it was reported by various outlets that Musk would serve as an advisor to the Dogecoin Foundation, further cementing his connection to the project. I don't know why people don't use resources. We have so much at our disposal that's free. The internet, in its current form, is free. The internet is the information is out there for everyone to be able to absorb and look at. The Wall Street Journal article alleges that Elon Musk, since around 2021, has been deep dived into the cryptocurrency Dogecoin space, and that he's secretly been funding the project for a number of years. For those of you who've been with the channel for a while, first of all, hello out there. Thank you for all of your support over the last 8 years, which is absolutely insane to say out loud. Also, we've had news for quite some time that Elon Musk has been into cryptocurrencies and also has been into Dogecoin. Back in good old 2019, when the world was lightly okay, we had a lot of news and rumors and speculations that Elon Musk was not only into crypto, but that he was allegedly very deep into Dogecoin. Why, you might ask? The news that we got around that time was that allegedly, you might remember this, Elon Musk allegedly had gone to Blockstream, the people who kind of like are the harbingers of the Bitcoin code, who keep everything safe. They're like one of the more prominent players within the Bitcoin space. It was alleged that apparently Elon Musk had gone to Blockstream, had tried to talk with them to gain control of the Bitcoin code, and that apparently they said, no, that's not how it works. You cannot do that. No one has control over Bitcoin's code. We cannot help you. It was then alleged that immediately after, he apparently went to people within the Dogecoin Foundation and allegedly the people who ran the Dogecoin code. This is roughly around the time where we heard a bit of bickering between Elon Musk and the creator of Dogecoin, the guy who mentioned back then that he was stepping away from the space because the space had become too rotten. Remember that? Remember all those years ago when the guy left the space at the same exact... So then Elon Musk allegedly allegedly spoke with the people from Dogecoin and became their friends. And we do not know if he received or was allowed to take over the code for or is running a node or multiple nodes for the project. But the news was back then in good old 2019 that they had become incredibly close. And the idea was that he actually was one of the we do not know. That he might have been a board member, I'm air quoting here, or some higher up within the Dogecoin space. By the end of 2019, he had mentioned that he was into Bitcoin but had slightly pushed himself away from it. This is roughly around the time where he mentioned, and I think this was all part of the game, he mentioned that he was into Bitcoin. He held a tiny bit of Bitcoin. He thought that Bitcoin was amazing. That was roughly around the time where we heard that apparently he was trying to contact the people from Blockstream, trying to get control over Bitcoin's code and or be the face of Bitcoin for whatever reason. He's a megalomaniac. He's always trying to be at the front of something. Apparently, he was allowed to wiggle into the Dogecoin space. That's around the time where he said he was accepting Bitcoin for payments, and then he wasn't accepting Bitcoin anymore because it wasn't decentralized enough, it wasn't green enough, and all this other stuff that he said that a lot of people ended up believing. You understand what's going, like the point to be made is that this man has been into Dogecoin since 2019. He has not been into Dogecoin since 2021. Reports of him potentially secretly funding Dogecoin sound incredibly true to me because I mentioned back in 2019, 2020, I don't have the video here, but I make a video every day. I'm sure you can find it if you decide to go back into the olden times on this channel. I believed for a while, this man, hear me out here, is a billionaire. He is all about the money. A lot of people assumed that he got into Dogecoin because he found it happy, cool, and funny. No, he probably got into it because it was probably the easiest thing for him to be able to accumulate and then tell the general public that it was amazing. And then other people who follow him aimlessly believe the exact same thing. And that's how Dogecoin rose in popularity. It was a way for him, even back then, the speculation was, it was a way for him to get into the cryptocurrency space to be a leader within the space. Why do you think he has all these allegations now of insider trading when it comes to Dogecoin and have the lawsuits against him that have been formed over the last couple of years? Because every time he tweeted about Dogecoin, the price went up. If he did not tweet about it, the price went down. This is considered a form of market manipulation. You must all remember this, right? Like we went over this multiple times, at least on this channel. And this is why I always like to put things into context. This is why I've mentioned many times before, I am not a hype channel. I am not here to make you feel good. I am not here to make you feel fantastic about buying some of the crappy coins that you have. I'm here to give you the news and explain to you exactly how these things are and how they're affecting the cryptocurrency space. Elon Musk getting into crypto was not because he wanted to remain as rich as he was before. No, he wanted and still wants to make billions of dollars. And if you can say that you did that from the cryptocurrency space, well, that's another rich notch in his belt that he's able to kind of put forward. I would have found it more surprising if he had not been Wink secretly funding Dogecoin developers over the course of the last couple of years. I would have found it extremely weird. No one else found it weird while this guy was constantly wearing Dogecoin t-shirts and Dogecoin hats and tweeting Dogecoin, and everyone went insane when they changed the Twitter icon from the bird to Dogecoin for a couple of days. Anyway, yeah, very popular news. A lot of people were actually shocked at this, and they're simply saying, no, this can't be. Do you know how the world works? Do you understand how money is accumulated? Do you understand how billionaires work? Do you understand the mind of someone who thinks that they want to own everything on the planet and everything essentially belongs to them? One of the things that I think people should really take away from a lot of this is that, and I've mentioned this before, billionaires do not care about us. It is about them. They are always the center of attention in their own mind. So, and I say that because I know that we live in a world where for some reason people idolize people who have a lot of money. They think they're geniuses, they think they're hyper intelligent, or they think that they've done something absolutely incredible. That's why I also bought you that news article, multiple of them, a couple of months ago for those of you who missed it, where Elon Musk, oh gosh, what was it? He was offering I think a million Doge or something like that, something ridiculous, to anyone who could prove that he actually was born rich. And his father came forward. I had this on the channel for those of you who were not here. His father came forward and tried to claim the Dogecoin because he was like, what is he? Of course, he grew up rich. He's like, I used to take him to the emerald mine all the time. He's like, I gave all of the kids rubies and sapphires when they were kids that we got from the mines. Anyway, yeah, the news is very popular. This is one of my favorite videos in a very long time. The news, don't worry, there's still more ridiculousness because that's just the way that the cryptocurrency space works. Yes, it is. There's now an allegation from the Wall Street Journal that he has been secretly funding the development of Dogecoin over the last couple of years. I think that this project would have fallen into obscurity without him. I think there's millions of Dogecoin that are created every single day. The price should be a lot lower, but I think Elon Musk found a coin that he can control and push out to the public easier than others. That's the apparently Elon Musky has been. I mean, we should have all known this, right? Is anyone here surprised? I don't see any hands up. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also so this isn't this isn't controversial. Like I said, I wonder about the honest mental stability of a lot of the cryptocurrency space, just simply because, okay, I'll say it to you this way. Wherever you are listening to this video right now, whether it be daytime or nighttime, I'm going to tell you one thing. If it's daytime, at some point it's going to get dark where you are. The sky will get dark. The streets will get dark. If you are somewhere where it's nighttime right now and there's no sun in the sky, tomorrow morning there will be a sun in the sky. You may not see it. It may be covered by clouds, but the streets will be bright. You will have UV rays on your skin tomorrow. That's how evident this next thing is. And people lost their ever-loving minds when this happened. Please let me explain. Changpeng Zhao, who is the CEO of Binance, has been stirring the controversial pot. He hasn't. He has put Bitcoin and traditional cash on the same playing field and made an intriguing point. He said, Bitcoin, unlike the cash you keep in a safe home, leaves a digital trail. This article says, now is Bitcoin traceable? In a way, yes. The blockchain is like a digital notary, stamping its approval on every transaction you make. It's all out there, wide in the open. While this might give you a moment's pause, consider the flip side. The open book policy is what lends blockchain its credibility. It's a balancing act towards transparency and privacy. Let me tell you something right here and right now. I was almost, as I said that, I was thinking of the phrase from, was it Lucy Liu in Kill Bill? Anyway, back in 2000, I think 12, 13, 14 was around the first time that I heard about Bitcoin. And I remember I stayed on the sidelines for like 3, 4, 5 more years because I was like, I don't know what this thing is. There was a lot of fear mongering going on within the news at that time that this new digital thing on the computer was only used by criminals, only used by terrible people. We've gone over it before. You know what they said, and why many of you took years to get into the cryptocurrency space is because you believed the lies that you were told. It happened to us all. However, roughly around the time, fast forwarding to around 2016, 2017, a lot of countries began to legalize Bitcoin. This was seen as a gigantic win, not only for the crypto space, but for the Bitcoin space, because it was like, yeah, they're understanding that Bitcoin is an evil and Bitcoin is blah, 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 and we can all use Bitcoin. If you dig a lot deeper into why a lot of the legality was passed and why Bitcoin wasn't banned in many places around the world, and even those that did ban it, unbanned it, was because people figured out that Bitcoin was traceable. This is not a controversial thing. This is something that is completely logical, and we've spoken about that here before as well. Even when it came to the idea that PayPal was integrating Bitcoin and crypto, Visa and MasterCard were also integrating crypto. The idea of you linking your Visa and your MasterCard to your MetaMask wallet means that your transactions would be able to be traced. You linking your PayPal to a Bitcoin wallet means that your transactions would be able to be traced. Banks and institutions and governments figured out a very long time ago, if you allow Bitcoin to be legal and it begins to integrate itself into every single market, into every single cryptocurrency, anything, you would be able to trace these transactions. The fear of Bitcoin many years ago was that it could not be traced. That is no longer the case, as you can trace nearly every single Bitcoin transaction back from the very beginning. One of the conversations in the long ago was the idea of a dirty coin. This is no longer spoken about, as I think it just simply should be logical at this point. Many years ago, the idea of a dirty coin was, let's say you are mining Bitcoin and two coins come out of it. You take the one on the left, the one Bitcoin, and you basically never sell that one Bitcoin. You take the one on the right and you sell it to your friend. He sells it to someone else. That Bitcoin gets broken in half. It gets sold to another person. At some point along the transaction trail over 2 years, it ends up making it into a wallet and is used by an individual who is doing less than scrupulous things on the internet. They're probably doing something that one would deem illegal and or wrong, and therefore they end up getting in trouble. Their Bitcoin are then confiscated by the authorities. However, before the authorities can break through the door, this person buys a whole bunch of 15 different things and that Bitcoin goes out of their wallet. You can still see every transaction that has ever been on or has involved any wallet address. That's why it's the blockchain. Imagine a link of a chain continuously adding every single time to the end of another transaction, over and over and over. You see that this Bitcoin at some point 5-6 years ago was actually involved in a transaction that was deemed to be something that could have been illegal. Part of the problem is and was that especially years ago, if you were trying to at any point deposit those coins onto Coinbase or another cryptocurrency exchange, they might have freezed your account. Why? And they would ask you, how did that Bitcoin get to you? We saw that X amount of years ago it was evolved in this situation. It has remained in your wallet since that transaction. Did you receive this from this person? That's the idea of a dirty coin. The more transactions that a coin has, the dirtier, air quotes, it seems to people out there because it could have at some point been involved in a bad transaction. It's traceable, and it becomes even more traceable when you put those coins onto a cryptocurrency exchange to liquidate your coin, which is usually the case for a lot of people. No matter what coin you are holding, it is traceable in some sort of way. It may not show, your iris or your fingerprints, but it will show you the other wallets where it has been before. It becomes far more traceable when you start buying stuff with your Visa and your MasterCard. It shows the transaction on Visa and MasterCard that you bought your Bitcoin through this website at this time and so and so and so. The blockchain address is also then visible as well. Every other transaction you make from that wallet is also then known that you purchased those coins and put it onto that Bitcoin wallet from your Visa, from your MasterCard, or from any other wallet that you might be using. You can buy Bitcoin anonymously if you find a way to do so. You transact in it for 4 or 5 years. You put it onto an Exodus wallet on your computer. You swap it to your phone. You put it somewhere else. At some point, if you decide to cash out of that coin and you put it onto Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, you put it onto PayPal and sell it, every other transaction from the blockchain then becomes identified to you. This is how it is traceable. Oh, and for those of you who were wondering about the other side of that story, there were two coins there. The one on the left that wasn't sold, there was, and I'm sure there still is, a hefty premium for clean coins that are coins that have never had any transactions actually attached to them. So years ago, these coins had, and I'm sure they still do, had a very hefty premium, and these were the coins that were being accumulated by the whales and locked away into mountains and into other, safe havens and all these other things like that. Because these coins, in essence, weren't traceable. They had no transactions attached to them except for the initial transaction of them being created. And then they were put away in some, weird mountain place or wherever was actually going on. Changpeng Zhao stating this out loud isn't controversial. A lot of people thought that this was a terrible way to market the cryptocurrency space because for those of you who don't watch the news, there are still a large amount of people who think that Bitcoin is private. Like, you cannot trace the transactions. These people will never be caught. And the issue is, or their issue is a lot of people who do what would be deemed to be illegal things on the internet still use Bitcoin. And then if you read the news, they end up getting caught. That's crazy. How could they get caught? Because at some point, they sell their coins, and then someone goes, hey, because there's always someone looking. The transactions on this coin over the last 5 years look a little weird. Can you tell us where you got this from? Can you tell us how you obtained 244 Bitcoin? We can see that these transactions were from this wallet, and they continued to accumulate. This wallet is attached to a website that was closed down by the government back in 2016. How did you get these coins? Guess what, buddy? You're in trouble. Bitcoin is traceable, as is every other coin except for coins that tend to have private transactions, those being the Monero, the Dash, or the Zcash. But even those are still traceable. You can find articles. It is much more difficult to trace those. I mean, it is very difficult. But if a government or someone with a lot of money wanted to, they could tell the actual movement of those coins. Nothing in this space is untraceable. This is an article from 2016, 2016. It says why criminals can't hide behind Bitcoin. Even with cryptocurrency, investigators can follow the money. This is an article from 2017. Bitcoin transactions aren't as anonymous as everyone hoped. This is from an MIT technology review. They noticed this a number of years ago, and this is why we saw a rapid acceptance and non-banning of cryptocurrencies around the world and why Bitcoin became legal. The fear was from 2015 before. I remember seeing, you must have seen them for those of you who were here. Remember there used to be those videos on YouTube. They had like a yellow background and it was like, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a decentralized cryptocurrency. Like those videos, you must have seen them. And the original one that I saw used to say, Bitcoin is an anonymous, decentralized cryptocurrency. Years later, that video was deleted and it became, is a pseudonymous digital currency that can be used online. We've known this for a very long time. I think people like being upset with Changpeng Zhao because I think he, in essence, becomes like a really weird, easy target. I'm not sure if it's because maybe his name is too long for people. Maybe it just sounds too odd for them. Maybe they don't like the way he looks. I'm not being mean. I'm simply I've been trying to figure out for years. Changpeng Zhao has been one of the most transparent people within the cryptocurrency space. I think he's also been one of the, I can't say genuine, I don't know him, but just from the transparency and seemingly being nice, He's relatively similar to Vitalik Buterin. They kind of say what's on their mind when they want to, what's going on. If there's a problem, they state the problem immediately. They talk about it. They discuss it with the community. Unlike the vast majority of other people within the cryptocurrency space who keep tons of secrets, who are known liars, and for some reason, people in life and within the cryptocurrency space, they love liars. I don't know what it is. You follow the people who will lie openly to your face and tell you that a coin is going to 9,000x and is the best thing you'll ever buy when they openly know that it's not, and they're going to liquidate it the moment that the coin's price goes up. These people get millions of views. They're the ones who are followed more. It is a very weird world that we live in where people choose to trust criminals over other people who seem to be transparent and nice within the cryptocurrency space. Changpeng Zhao did nothing wrong. He simply stated a fact. Why did he state a fact? Because he knew the fact was a fact, because he's been into Bitcoin for a number of years. I'm pretty sure he knows all the metrics and exactly how Bitcoin works. And once again, for all of you out there, I will state this to you for one last time. Understand that. I mentioned this before. Everything you do online is tracked and is traceable. That is not just your cryptocurrency transactions. That is everything you do. They can tell what your IP is. Websites, a lot of them will track when you're hovering over something, how long you look at something. Sometimes they even track your mouse movement and they know literally everything. It is becoming the exact same way within the cryptocurrency space. I always mention, as long as you can do something legally within your country of residence, please do it legally. But understand that you linking everything to the traditional financial system will put you in the exact same place. We are currently already in the situation where a space that should be decentralized, open, and free is now being scrutinized and is, hounded by the idea of know your customer anti-money laundering rules at every single step. They want to know what you're doing with your normal money, your fiat money, and also your cryptocurrencies. And understand that when you're linking all of these things together, all of your transactions become public. People know exactly what you're doing and what you have done. This is something to keep in mind before you link your Visa or your MasterCard to your MetaMask or to your PayPal or to anything else that ends up popping up in the future. Bitcoin and every other coin are all traceable. Bitcoin just happens to be one of the most traceable ones out there. This is why, what do you think that the companies Glassnode and Santiment do? There's a reason why it's called a glass node. You can see through glass. You can see through the chain. Chainalysis. Chain analysis. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. This was by far one of my favorite videos that I've made in a while. And I mean, really, I sincerely enjoyed making this because the news out there is just completely insane at this point within the cryptocurrency space. I think people are trying to figure out a way to keep themselves busy. But a lot of the news that's popping up is just why is everyone focusing on these things that don't matter? We've heard about the rapid legalization and rulization of cryptocurrencies around the world. Rules and regulations, stamp. Except for the US, everywhere else is good. We've heard about whale accumulation every day, nonstop. These people are buying up as much cryptocurrency as they possibly can as prices are low. We've heard about countries. We have countries. There are countries on this planet that are using and mining Bitcoin. Using and mining. And people ignore all of this news. We have hundreds of companies who are using Ethereum, buying up Ether, integrating their systems with Ethereum and Polygon. We have the future that we always wanted back in 2013, 14, 15, 16. We live in a world where cryptocurrencies are mainstream, and the news that ends up being popular is that Vitalik Buterin sold his own money. Elon Musk apparently has been funding the coin that he's been talking about and has popularized over the course of the last 4 to 5 years, and that Bitcoin transactions are traceable. It's so easy to lose focus when there's so much noise coming from every single direction. And once again, this is why I make videos every day and why I make sure to bring you the news that shows you that whales are accumulating. Ethereum is being used. Trillions of dollars are flowing through Bitcoin. The people from Ripple have partnered with 30 different central banks to build on top of the XRP blockchain. All the good news is there, but for some reason, the things that make it to the most popular news are always absolutely insane garbage. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and/or supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.